boy went for an interview for his nursery school. Among the several questions the principal asked, he answered them very well. Then the principal said, "Son, there's one last question. Would you like to answer it?" He said, "Yes, ma'am." "When you grow up, what would you like to be? A doctor, a scientist, a teacher, or any other profession?" The boy paused for a minute, looked at the principal, looked at his parents, and then said, "When I grow up, I will be a man." Very good morning. Hello Toastmasters. Welcome to a session on table topics. Is it difficult? How many of you say it's difficult? Oh, wonderful. Even after 15 years, I find it very, very difficult. But what I'm going to do today is, I'm going to offer a few insights, and then a few topics, and then we're going to have a practice session. How many agree with this? How many of you agree with this statement? Interesting?
Yes.
Preparation is the key. I think many of us sometimes forget that, oh, what's the big fuss about preparing? I'll go over there and speak. Preparation is the key for paper. And I'm going to offer you a few insights on what areas to prepare. Structure, content, and delivery. Now let's look at each. What is the key for the structure? Preparation in advance. Now, what do I mean by preparation in advance? I want to offer you a very simple model. This is what I call a mental model. The first is the thesis, and second is point 1 and point 2. What do I mean by the thesis? The thesis is our statement. You're given a topic. What is my premise on the topic? That's what I meant by the thesis. And what is point 1 and point 2? Some examples or illustrations to support that. Expand the thesis. Here are a few common patterns or structure, as I call it, how we can address a topic. So given a topic, immediately our mind should go to the various patterns. What is the very first pattern? The first is chronological, namely, this is the past, the present, or the future. Can anybody give an example? Traffic in Bangalore. Yes or no? Chronological. What was the traffic 10 years ago? What's the traffic today? So immediately my mind will go, oh, fantastic, this pattern will suit this topic. Sequential, first, second, third. Cause and effect. Again, same topic, I can speak on it, cause and effect. And also related to problem and solution. All these two things are connected. Can anybody give me an example for number 5? Compare and contrast.
Comparing Bangalore with other cities.
Bangalore with other cities.
Before marriage, after marriage.
Before marriage, after marriage.
News and views.
Exactly. Yes. Now, geographical is very interesting because many topics suit that particular pattern. Immediately I go, okay, let me, talk about this country or that country. That's a particular. Now, what about options? Plan A, plan B, plan C. Again, this is, something. Is it also priority? Namely critical, not so important, or is it important? I can again devote some time there. Now, categorical. What is categorical? The various, subjects. I gave 3 examples. If I'm speaking about something, I can talk about it. And the last one is from increasingly detailed, as I call it, general to specific. First a broader perspective, then I come into the topic in finer details. So I've just given you 10 of these points. What we're going to do in a short while is, we will have a practice on these things. I made a slide for you and we'll have a practice. I've given 2 examples here. For example, immediately my mind on the first topic will go to problem and solution, as the topic suggests. Then the second topic is about places you visited. Immediately my mind will go to, hey, I can use a geographical structure. So 2 examples which will suit that. I mentioned preparation in the beginning. How do we prepare? How many of you like reading? As Toastmasters, we love reading. But reading is one part of preparation. The other part of it is reading and writing. Can anyone of you give me an example of a one-liner? Anybody give me an example of a one-liner?
Don't drink while driving.
Don't drink while driving.
You may spill it.
You may spill it. Exactly. Another example of alliteration. Alliteration. Any example for alliteration?
Amazing, awesome, and amicable.
Fantastic. Immediately, can I think of these things to use in the topic? And dyads and triads, of course, we know. And the other thing is also my general knowledge. I think general knowledge plays a key in answering table topics. And that's a very critical area as part of our preparation. Just for when we go for a quiz, we brush up our GK. Similarly, GK has to be addressed if we want to succeed. So the other part is the delivery aspect. What is the delivery aspect? The first thing is taking out that fear. It is a stress situation, but then how do I overcome it? Getting into a positive state of mind. Wonderful. These topics are easy. I'm going to speak on them. And being enthusiastic and energetic. Any comments on the last sentence? Start smiling before you are called.
Table topic master smiles.
Yeah. He will smile and that energy he will transfer to you. And then in case he doesn't smile, you smile and transfer the energy to him. Immediately, this is the process to follow. What is the topic? What can I use? A thesis or premise, a particular structure, and 1 or 2 points, which we are going to practice shortly. Now coming to the timing aspect. I have a limited time frame. But what do I do in this time frame? As we all know, the structure, the introduction, the body, and the close. How I can work out the best thing, keeping my structure in mind, the thesis and the examples. One or 2 examples. Sometimes in the table topics, we tend to elaborate too much. I feel in a 2 to 3 minute table topic, 1 to 2 points is more than enough example. And we can elaborate on each point. So we have time, 30 to 45 seconds, elaborate on each point, and then we move on. I'm giving you the secret in advance, because the table topic contest is coming up shortly. And now we're going to practice the various things. The next slide is going to show you the various structure, as I call it, common patterns. And we're going to give some topics in random and just think first how we can use it. I'm going to give you a few topics on the next slide. Any volunteers? Somebody would like to begin? Oh, sure. Yes, Ram. Starting from the last. Garbage segregation. Can this be implemented in Bangalore?
Hello, Toastmasters and dear guests. Good evening. I believe that we can do this. This is our responsibility. As humans, we are supposed to be tidy. And if we are not, that's our problem. And we cannot blame the government, agencies, everywhere. We can say that, okay, this is not our task. But as humans, the basic nature, we are supposed to be tidy. And I believe that every one of us should do the segregation. We have guidelines. Thank you. We have the guidelines and we know what to do, but only thing is that action part is missing. We know everything, we have read in science books and hygiene is important, but we are not implementing, we are blaming on the agencies. So my take is, yes, we can do that. We need to think about it and start doing it. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, now, for a minute, looking at those different structures, what can I do differently? Do you feel you address the topic? Would you do it differently in a better manner?
Yeah.
Looking at the various
yes, I have started the
First of all, which would you like to select out of all of these?
The sequential one.
Sequential one. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So this is the problem and how can this impact us, and then series of actions I can take.
Okay. Very
But
good.
then how can it impact us
Sequential.
positively?
Therefore, sequential. Anybody else would like to attempt the same topic? Taking another pattern?
I'll take it.
Please. Tell us the pattern you follow.
Guys, do you remember we used to do like this and throw that? Guess what it is? The task that used to throw, right? Every day morning. That is what has caused the garbage today in Bangalore. If I walk in any road, we are talking about IMB, institutes like that. And what have we done? Every day morning, this is what happens in my place at least. And what are we going to do to stop that? That is very important. Think of the options like this. Government is coming up with their own set of rules and guidelines. How do we follow them? Then second, at home we can follow simple methods. There are a couple of tips available on the websites. Go browse for it. There are options like how can you segregate organic and inorganic waste. How to segregate them and how to use your own home equipments to decompose them. Now third, I have to think, I don't have ideas.
Anyone else on the same topic, please? Would you like to tell us which pattern you follow? Please.
Oh, thank you. I'm Sanjay. Good evening, everyone.
Good morning.
Oh, sorry. Good morning. Apologies. Yeah, as in, we call our city a garden city. I mean, it was true till now. At least for last 10 months, we have realized that it's turned into a garbage city. And a reputation as in the country which was, until now as an IT city, IT-BT city, Silicon Valley of India. I don't think we are more of the same. And as far as we Indians are concerned and this garbage crisis presently in Bangalore is concerned, I think it's an attitude problem with us. Because when we are in India, we walk on the road. I've seen many people, my own teachers in the college, they come out of the canteen with ice cream candy, they put the wrapper on the street. If the same person goes to the United States, he'll find a dustbin because he'll be fine there. But here, he doesn't have that problem because nor the government will do anything, nor the normal people, authorities or concerned will do anything, and he doesn't care about all that. Coming to our own responsibilities, I told my mom after reading about these segregations in newspapers, I didn't know about it. I think it had to start on October 1st. I told my mom, I got a dustbin at home, a separate one for plastics and papers. She did start segregating. After 1 week, she told me the garbage collector doesn't care. She's mixing up anything at the end of the day. So I'm just going to do it like I used to do it normally, and there's no point, segregating it here. But I think all of us must realize the importance of this, because at the end of the day, even if it goes to Mando, landfill or any other places, at the end of the day, it's our own water supply that will be polluted. And don't forget, unsegregated garbage is a problem, but segregated one is black gold.
Wonderful. Okay, so next topic. Listen to the topic, and when I call you, tell me the pattern, because it's a practice. So it will be a little difficult. But once we have the process in place, then things will become easy. The next topic is honesty really the best policy? Please. Look at the slide, tell me which pattern you like to follow.
Cause and effect.
Cause and effect. Wonderful.
Honesty, what we are getting into. See, in India, is the honesty is followed? We, anywhere, if it is a school admission, you starting, okay, this much a donation. It's everything is fixed. Suppose you want to participate in any kind of sports, there you have to get through a lot of political things and you need to get support from the politicians. For that, you have to bribe. Wherever you go, the bribe is going on and on. But when this will stop? How will we stop? Okay, what are the things like that? Suppose you look up the Singapore or any or foreign country, UK or America. You can put, what is the policy they are following? With that policy, if any cops in our Bangalore road stops us, I have 50 rupees or 100 rupees, I can escape. But that's not the case. Whereas in US, if a cop stop you for anything, you have to just say whether you have a license or not. There is no question at all. So you put your rules, then everybody amend the rules, everybody follow. Thank you.
Thank you.